Live.
Hi, welcome to the Imagine the Possibilities with AI. Today, my co host Elias and I are so excited to spotlight Jeff Wang, who is the head of business at Codeium. So, Jeff recently celebrated a whopping 65 million fundraising at Codeium's AI Technologies. And congratulations on such a great fundraising, Jeff. So, welcome on board. Definitely, I know that you have an impressive background, but please, to kick it off, just tell us something about you that most people don't know about. Some fact about you.
Yeah, I think most people would be surprised that I have like two kids because it's been a crazy, fast-paced startup life. I even had my second kid during the craziest time of Codeium. Actually, when I was in the office, I got a call that my wife's water broke, and I was in front of everybody. It was like a month, 3 weeks earlier than expected, and I'm in front of everybody, and I'm like, guys, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Hold all my calls, and then I like ran out. And then I was still even in the delivery room. I think I'm still answering emails and texts, but I'm trying to like make sure everything's okay, you know. Anyway, that's one fun fact. A lot of stories, obviously, that resulted from that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, so aside your role from Codium, you're also involved into venture and crypto spaces like Rocket Fuel Education and Rich Dad Crypto. Can you tell us a little bit more? Because you guys are reaching like 2 million users. Is that correct?
So yeah, I think like I just like ranting a lot, as you can already tell from this initial few minutes. And then some things I rant about are just crypto, the crypto markets, and how, in general, like how why prices are in what why prices are behaving in the way they are, given the data we have, right? And then people started just like listening and started, I guess, like subscribing to what I had to say, and that's just been going on all the time for the last couple of years.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I love listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad while I was a stay-at-home mom for 3.5 years. Literally, that's all the podcasts that I listened to, and literally, I can even tell like when he tweaked the stories because we have a story to tell, right? But I can tell like when he said it, the fact is not right. Like I named it all out. But with Codium's recently raised $65 million, what strategies do you implement to ensure this success, and how does it feel to achieve such a big milestone?
Yeah, I mean, the hard part obviously is getting product market fit. And I think to do that, we actually took a big gamble of releasing a free product and seeing like the traction there. Like, are there people that would really want to use us? Basically, just to summarize, we are like a Copilot competitor. You can install us on your coding IDE, which is where you write your code, and basically it'll just complete your code for you, or you can ask it questions and it could like help debug or just generate net new code as well. One thing that's innovative about our company is we train our own models. Basically, we have a bunch of servers out there that help us train, and then we also deploy on-prem. So in terms of strategies, one thing is to figure out where other companies are not yet strong at, and then try to be very strong in those areas, and then grab that market share. And then if that gets filled, like let's say the competitor rises up to the occasion, we better have other alternatives and other plans, which we do, to make sure that we are ahead of the game at all times. Obviously, we can go big all at once, and we have the capability now with the fundraise to do that. But I guess we're trying to be very strategic in at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty exciting. Congratulations on the fundraiser. That's a really great raise. So it's really interesting because Codium is an AI platform, and really these AI platforms hitting the mainstream were really made possible, over the most recent couple of years, and so it's kind of unlocked this entire world of possibilities. Can you talk about two sides of this? One is like how Codium AI enables your clients to be able to do things that they haven't been able to do before this AI wave. And then I'm also curious, since you are an AI forward company, how you implement AI within your company to just improve the efficiencies of your company and your team in general. So, I guess that's a two-part question right there.
Yeah, I think in general, the biggest moment in AI was probably when ChatGPT came out, right? Obviously, it came from the Transformers paper in 2017, which basically says that you can build a relationship between tokens, and then you can guess the next token, and then have like an autocomplete, and you could keep putting the next token ahead of that, and the next token ahead of that, and keep guessing what the next word is going to be. And basically, this is a very good way to kind of predict a conversation. Like if I ask it a question, it can predict what the response is going to be. And then what we found, I mean, this is like kind of knowledge, public knowledge now, which is code is very good for this, because code is more structured than human language, right? There are much more definitive rules of how something that pops up from what you put in. So basically, code is one of the obvious use cases of AI. There's a lot of coding assistants out there as well. But what we found also is that with Codeium, we write on average about 45% of all your code. So just think about like how much code a developer writes, and then almost half of it is now being written by AI. I think just in general, there's other opportunities for the developer too. So when you're onboarding a junior developer, like they don't need to tap on the shoulder of a senior developer as much, because they can either locate the code or figure out the code or explain the code or even write the code much faster than they would have if they just joined the company. And then also it wastes a lot less time of the senior developer too, because the senior developer sometimes is like trying to help them, and then it's like, oh wait, the code is already generated. I don't have to, you know what, I'm good. You don't have to help me right now. So basically we're saving time outside of just the writing the code part. We're saving time on the onboarding. We're saving time on the pair programming part. And then of course, even the code coverage or unit test part. These are all things that our company is helping with the developer. And obviously we are power users of this tool internally. Just like our customers, like almost half of our code is written by Codeium, and we know how to utilize the tool, obviously, and we are obviously very good adopters of the current features and future features that are coming of the tool as well.
I love that. Yeah, it's so powerful when you get to be your own customer and be able to understand, you know, from that perspective, you're building a product for yourself, really, which is really, really kind of gives me Microsoft vibes when Microsoft was being built.
One of the things our CEO does that's very interesting is he makes us read books. I think when I first joined, he put a sales book on my desk and he said, you should have this, you should finish reading this by next week. And then I spent the entire week, and I was like, you know, pushing the kids on the stroller and then sitting at the park just reading through the book. One of those books actually was the Microsoft book. And the funny thing is, a lot of the early days of Microsoft, there was a lot of like, there's stories of like how they were meeting customers, going to the boardrooms, giving demos, and there's a lot of forward selling back then at Microsoft. And you know, in our early days, which is just a year ago, there had to be a lot of forward selling too. And then basically we would say like, here's a feature, it's coming out next month. And honestly, the life of the success of the deal kind of relied on some of those features that are coming in a month, right? So there are a lot of similarities in the early Microsoft days. I don't know if this is going to carry on, obviously, to the end state of Microsoft, but at least in the beginning, we have a lot of similar stories as they had.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting. So, you know, we talked about like, you know, how AI is still pretty new and not too many big companies like enterprise are adopting AI yet, you know, fully because of the securities issues. How has it been for Codeium, you know, trying to get like more partnerships, you know, using Codeium, you know, within their company? How has it been?
Oh, it's been extremely difficult. And sometimes the legal process takes longer than the actual sales process and the pilot process. And the reason why is because legal teams have no idea how to even know what the rules are for AI. For example, if I generate code, how do I know that I'm allowed to use this code? Or like, how do I know it didn't come from somewhere malicious or somewhere that's copyrighted, right? So we have to come up with product features that are addressing this. So for example, we take away any non-permissive code, any copyright code, anything we have to take out of our training set, which by the way, like Copilot does not do. They still have all the code that's on the internet trained on their model. And then the other thing is, after the code is generated, we have another feature that compares that to any of the code that's copyrighted to see if that is an issue. So from a legal standpoint, that is one of the biggest issues with AI is like figuring out how to make them happy, all the lawyers happy, right? From a security issue, Yeah, like there's been like data leaks. For example, Anthropic just had a data leak just like last month. So what we do is we have a product that you can deploy internally. Like it can be completely air gapped as well. So you can host an LLM to thousands of developers, and it never touches the internet. And I think that's a very compelling product offering, because a lot of these, for example, defense companies or finance companies or healthcare companies really don't want to send any data, especially like PII or algorithmic or proprietary information out into the internet, because you just don't know if it's touching something else when it gets out there, right? So that has been in our favor quite a bit. Like our ability to send an LLM to a server internally has given us a lot of customers that probably would not have been possible. They would not be able to use AI otherwise.
Yeah, that's really, really powerful that you are able to position it that way. You said something funny, which was trying to make the lawyers happy. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. At least until there's some congressional rules. But what I love to do next, Jeff, is reveal to you our wearable products. It's just a teaser video. The keynote goes live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And so we'd love to invite you to be a part of our VIP list. To firsthand see what it is that the product will do. But could we go ahead and share this video, and then we would love to get your thoughts on what you think the impact of wearable AI might be in the near future.
Sure, let's check out the video.
Cool. Easy.
I think in general, wearables, I mean, the Apple Watch has proven that wearables are a thing, right? Whether or not wearables can replace a phone or change behavior, I think that's the challenge. Like basically, is there a switching cost of not wearing my phone or not pulling out my phone and getting all the functionality I would have? And sometimes that might be a good thing to like lose some functionality to remove some of the noise and check your phone less, right? Because I check my phone probably every minute, which is not good, not healthy. So I think like the wearables have some opportunities there, which is to give the user what they need at the right moment in time without distracting them from what the phone would normally distract them from, right?
Yeah, that's a really great point. And one thing that makes the Titan wearable a little bit different than some of the other AI wearables or AI devices in the market is it will actually pair with the phone and integrate with mobile apps. And so the idea is that it would be able to be an intuitive AI, not just a generative AI. So of course you could prompt it, but as an intuitive AI, much like the Apple Watch does with measuring heart rate, and could make an alert to first responders if you had a heart attack while you're wearing the device. This a couple steps sooner could track, for example, if you had an irregular heart rate over the last couple of days, and then highlight that as an alert, and then taking it further, even in terms of a large action model, to say, hey, do you want us to book an appointment with your doctor or help you find a doctor that can address this?
You could probably even do the initial screening, right?
Mm-hmm. That's initial screening, like the initial health assessment to give that data to the doctor.
Probably like because of LLMs and being able to become conversational, right? You can prompt a LLM like, hey, I need to ask Serena here how she's feeling. Here are the questions. Please record all the answers. And then it'll probably go through the entire conversation, right? Like through the wearable.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
Yeah, so Jeff, you position yourself as a quickly rising AI voice. You do have a Substack. Is it at Jeff Wang Substack?
Yeah, so basically jeffwang.substack.com is really just a place to journal a lot of the open source stuff that I'm trying out. There's always like a lot of new models that are coming out for both images and text. And I actually purchased a computer that had a 4090 in it just so I could run some of these models or even fine tune some of these models. And then I realized I was using too much electricity. So I actually bought solar panels so that I could to do all these AI kind of playing without any guilt, essentially. But yeah, that's true. I do have an AI blog, but it's really just a journal of thoughts.
Yeah, so how do you stay ahead of constantly evolving technology like in AI? Because practically almost every time that I see something new, I just like forward it to you and you already know, or you're like this detective that you can almost find anything. So what advice do you have for those who like, looking to do the same, like trying to keep up with, AI technologies and, almost everything else? Like what advice do you have for our
Yeah, I
listeners?
mean, I think the number one thing is you have to have like the passion and the interest for it. Like without that, it's gonna be hard to want to stay ahead, right? I think like with crypto, there's an incentive, right? If you stay ahead, there's like a monetary incentive. With AI, I guess the incentive is just to be like to understand like where it's going, and then kind of position yourself there too. So if you know like where the LLMs are headed, like is it multimodal? Is it just bigger models? Is it a mixture of experts? There's all these other technologies that are coming up that you can, if you have a big stake in it, let's say you have a big like incentive or something to make you passionate. I'm just trying to say that will make you want to keep up to date. And there's actually not that many AI sources out there. I try to follow a lot of like newsletters and stuff, but they're usually like way behind. Yeah, it's kind of hard. I think like local llama on Reddit is probably a great source. Even like Stable Diffusion or all those OpenAI kind of subreddits are good too. I think other than that, like you're going to be behind. Basically, you're only going to see the news that bubbles to the top, and I think that's not good if you are really passionate about AI. I think you really need to be in the weeds and the communities to see what's going on.
Mm.
It is changing so fast. I really am trying to close the gap on trying the new tools because like it's just changing so fast, and the tools are not that difficult to actually use. Once you start getting a hang of it, I saw on your Substack that Stable Diffusion just released a video model. I can't believe I missed it. Now I don't feel like I'm in the weeds as much that I missed that. I knew about Sora, but not Stable Diffusion.
Yeah, I mean, Sora is going to be another level of that. I think Sora is probably 1 year ahead of where Stable Diffusion and Midjourney is training a video model to. Runway ML and Pika Labs also, right? They're probably ahead of Stable Diffusion, but I feel like Sora is just a year ahead of everybody. It just seems, I don't know how they got such a high quality model to work like that. And I think OpenAI probably has a bunch of things that are under wraps that are way ahead of everybody. And then I think, Claude 3 just came out and they said like, oh, we're better than GPT-4. But like realistically, come on, GPT-4 is over a year old. Like you're comparing yourself to a year-old technology in AI. AI is like every quarter there's something new happening. So obviously, like OpenAI has something under wraps that's like way better than GPT-4 and probably better than Claude 3 Opus, right? And I think the same with like Gemini. Like Google has not been able to find their footing in this space. Every time they release something goes wrong, or they get overshadowed by some other announcement, which I think was intentional by OpenAI's part. So it's a tough space. It's a dog eat dog, like huge, very competitive. Everybody's buying their H100 farms, and now it's going to be B100 farms, right? And they're all going to just train bigger models and stay ahead of each other. And yeah, it's tough, but it's fun as well.
Definitely. Very fascinating. Well, thank you so much for your time to be with us today. So, for our listener, our VIP launch is this Wednesday at 10 a.m. So, DM us if you want to get in as a exclusive, invite only. So, but for the public, please follow us on all of our social media, Titan underscore AI underscore. Will be launching the keynote on all of our social media channels. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today.
Awesome. Thank you.